Hello and welcome to it. I want to do it, so let's get to it. I think that rhymed. Let's go right away here. Take a look at the overview. United States of America on May 30th, 2019, approximately 1:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. We still have all of this over here. This area over here, it's still pumping and dumping. Still some action going on there. This is just going to be a quick overview here, and then we'll get into the need to know alerts right away. We still have this stuff over here going on. We got this, and pretty sure we got this. What we've been seeing for the last few weeks is Amarillo. Where's Amarillo? Somewhere over here, up to Chicago. It's been boom time in there for maybe 2 weeks. Now, today, it almost looks like it just shifted down a little bit down here, and now we're getting the hot dog over here. So let's take a look at weather alerts right away here and see what's going on. So there's the USA. There's all the places with the weather alerts. Let's start over here on the West Coast. This has been going on for a while now. Small craft advisory, wind warnings. Also up here, Vancouver, Seattle, their little bay there. So now we have this area that I circled in the Rockies. Let's see what's going on in Oregon here. Flash flood watch expires tonight at 9 p.m. and that's out of the Boise office, but it looks like it's more Oregon. Actually, I don't know where yeah, that's Oregon. So this area doesn't really look like it's densely populated, but still, they're on the ball there. They're warning people. Up here, Great Falls, Montana, Helena. Flood watches, because even though it's May, they've been getting snow at elevations in almost June. And it's melting and it's coming down. You can see this little snake down here. And this is a flood warning until Friday. So they've got snow at the higher elevations and then rain, lower elevation mountains. And it's just coming down, melting down those mountain rivers. And it's endangering, places downriver. Same thing here. I'm guessing all these little green things are going to be the same thing. Flood warnings, Ketchum, Haley, river flood advisory, river flood warning, south of Mountain Home, Idaho. The whole world, the earth, it's interconnected. If it snows up here in Grangeville, up in these mountains, or Riggins here, it could affect, miles away, somewhere else. Getting down into Nevada, we have similar things here, I'm assuming. River flood warnings, Elko, all through here. How often do you get flood warnings in the desert? All right, let's go down to Phoenix. Air quality alert. Well, if you're still breathing, it can't be that bad. El Paso, air quality alert. They having fires around there? Let me know in the comments if they are. So we get into here into Billings, or Miles City, Montana, more river flooding. Gillette, Rapid City, flood warnings. They're not in the mountains there. I mean, they have some kind of mini mountains. You can see here this green snaky thing right here. That's a river flood, obviously. Pine Ridge has been, it's listed as one of the poorest places in the country or the world. They've been having flooding and snow and stuff, and just people are really hurting there. If you can do a search on it, look into it, see if you can do anything to help those people. They need it. Now we're getting into the Great Lake of Middle America here, which obviously, if this keeps up and these flood areas keep expanding, there's going to be fewer and fewer places to drive, and more water and more flooding. You can look at the groundwater tables, aquifers. I don't know how they measure them, but I saw a thing in there full, basically. Flood advisory, Hastings, Nebraska. They've been flooding for 2 months. Omaha, South Dakota. Basically, now we're looking at, when you look at this much of the state, you've got basically all this and all this. That's pretty much the whole state's flooding, if you ask me. What about this area? I mean, Can you even, I don't know, if you're from these areas, like Sioux Falls, Sioux City, in Omaha, can you even drive through here? Can you even get across the river, across a bridge? I don't know, I haven't been down there, but. So, this stuff continues. I don't really have stats. I just know Des Moines has been flooding. I know 2 years ago, the reason I started doing this broadcast, the reason I started researching weather and looking into these things and making sure I know, what's going on before I leave the house or leave the car. It's because of this, because, was it last fall? I don't know. I think it was, yeah, last fall. No, even starting before that. Okay, so 2 winters ago, I was driving around here somewhere, and it's in the middle of winter, they had flash flooding, crossing roads with big ice chunks, and then the next day it froze, so there's like ice dams going over roads. Well, that's what happened during the ice ages. They had ice dams. Then, one day I was driving around this area, this way, and I got in the hugest storm ever. Couldn't even see, it was dark. Summertime thunderstorm, rain like crazy, caused accidents on the interstate. And I got to this area, and this was in the fall, and there was some of the worst flooding ever seen in this area. Then, people are telling me like, oh, it's okay, it's normal, it's the 100-year flood, whatever. Well, how much of a record do we have of weather? Don't we have 100 years of record keeping? Think about when 100 years ago was. Today it's 2019. 100 years ago would be 1919. That's a long time ago. That's like horse days. 20 years before that, it was 1899. I mean, there weren't 120 years ago, there weren't weather stations. There weren't records being kept. Maybe Uncle Bill wrote in his journal like, oh, we got a lot of snow today or something. But 100-year record, what records? We have a very, very short time to look at for us to gauge what we think is normal. Okay, so back to my story. So everyone's telling me like, oh no, it's okay, it's just a blah blah blah. Well, I noticed that the water in this area did not recede after that. It's maintained. It rose up, in the lakes and stuff, and it stayed high. And basically, later that summer, I drove from here, Milwaukee, through here, and up here, and the entire way there was water up to the sides of the roads on both sides, all the way, puddling, rain, constant rain, places where you couldn't drive, roads closed. And that's when I really started to think like, this is becoming significant. Things are different from what I'm used to. Then last winter, for the entire month of December, there wasn't even any snow. It just rained, and it was 50 degrees, and that's really weird. Because when I was growing up, we were playing ice hockey on the ice-covered streets in Minnesota during December, and it was, negative temps. So back to the alerts. Middle of America is turning into a lake. Down here, Oklahoma City floods. At least they aren't having tornadoes. Not a lot of thunderstorms going on over here, just a lot of water. So this whole area, flooding. What is this? Red flag warning for Columbia, South Carolina. That must be like mountainous regions, I'm guessing. Special weather statement for Charleston. So it looks like the heat warning stuff is over for Georgia. I'm not seeing that. Where's Georgia? Florida, Atlanta. Yeah, it looks like Atlanta's not really like showing up anymore. Well, special weather statement. I guess we have to go into here to figure out what that is. Bear with me here. Atlanta, Georgia. Well, it's not showing anything. 88 degrees. Let's see. Let's try Augusta, Georgia. Special weather statement, 98 degrees. Fire danger, dry and unseasonably hot. And the rest of the country is unseasonably cold. So, hot and dry, burning permits. Learn not to burn. Okay. So that's this whole area, apparently, hot, dry and hot. Here's some more small craft advisory wind stuff. Washington, D.C. What's going on? Severe thunderstorm watch. Baltimore. And they can't get a break. They're being blackmailed for ransomware. The mayor blamed the NSA. Flash flood watch, Philadelphia. We're gonna have to type some of this in and figure out what's going on over here. So let's type in Washington D.C. They aren't usually. They haven't been on the threat map for a long time. Washington District of Columbia, small craft advisory, and thunderstorm warnings. Severe thunderstorm warning. We can look at the radar and see how high the clouds are and stuff. What's this? State College flash flood watch. I wonder, are there rivers around? Yeah, there's rivers. So those rivers are, the water levels are rising. I keep telling people that. All right, so let's take a look at, let's see if we can try to interpret some GOES 16, which I really have no idea how to do it, but whatever. We'll try. Maybe. Oh, I remember why I did that now. Water vapor, let's go infrared, and we'll try to see, I think this is supposed to let you know where the, okay, see, all right, so you can see the colors of the, oh, we need to turn off the alerts, so there it's going to be clouding our judgment. Okay, so let's look at Washington, D.C. So I'm pretty sure when you get into the reds, that's danger zone. But when you look at the legend over here, red, it just says high. And I don't know if that means altitude. My understanding is that, it has to do with the temperature of the air, or maybe it has to do with the altitude of that air. I don't know. But red usually means trouble in most things. So, they have severe thunderstorm warnings there. They've got that going on. Probably lots of rain around there. Let's look at water vapor if we can and see if that can tell us anything. But see, I got my red dot there, so it's really hard to do this. Water vapor. Water vapor, where are you? Oh yeah, see, Washington, D.C. And up here where the State College, where the flood warnings were, you can see it's purple. That probably means a lot of water. But this is visible satellite and infrared. It doesn't actually say the water vapor. I'm guessing, obviously that means a lot of water. That's probably why they're having those floods, but when you start to have the entire middle of the country flooding, and then you also have, so we've got middle of the country flooding for months. Now we have recent new developments of some river flooding over here. And now we've got some flooding over here. And it's almost June. So hang on to your hats. Stay aware. Everybody's got to learn to be a weatherman these days.